Buy the Samsung Galaxy S7 on O2 Business and get a free set of Jabra Sport Pulse earbuds.
It's becoming more and more obvious there is no need to fork out megabucks for a flagship phone. Mid-rangers are doing the job perfectly well. Great cameras, great screens, sufficient specifications under the hood, all for £200. But if you dial down that price tag to a budget phone, there is one newcomer making the biggest waves, British phone company WileyFox. This is the WileyFox Swift and it's only £130, and this is my review. Before we jump into it though, make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already. That is how you will stay on top of everything we're doing here at BTech, and it helps us out massively. Looking at the Swift, the boxy black front gives away the price tag pretty quickly. It's fairly solid at 9.3mm thick, but on the Plus it's relatively light at only 135 grams. The back of the phone has a sort of skateboard design to it, which I quite like. I also like the WileyFox Fox emblem and the orange accents. It certainly does little to elevate the design to premium, but it's different, albeit a bit masculine. Flat sides mean the phone is easy to hold and it isn't too big either, although the back does attract fingerprints if you've got even slightly oily hands. Take off the back cover and you have access to the phone's removable battery, micro SD card slot and dual SIM card slots. The Swift has a 5-inch screen and a fair amount of bezel. It's decent enough with an HD display, but it's not full HD. With a pixel density of 294 pixels per inch, it's not the sharpest of displays, and you may pick up the odd pixel at times. As it's an IPS panel, viewing angles are great and the colour accuracy is fair, if slightly muted compared to higher enders, and even the similarly priced Vodafone Smart Ultra 6. It's protected by Gorilla Glass 3 and feels both hardy and responsive. You can also manually adjust the screen's RGB and colour temperature if you're so inclined. The Swift is running on a heavily modified version of Android Lollipop called Cyanogen OS. Cyanogen OS claims to be both more customizable and secure than plain old Android. The theme store allows for the customization. There's around 100 different themes to choose from, which mostly tinker with your lock screen and change the app icons. The security features are slightly more impressive. Privacy Guard allows you to manually control which apps can collect data and which can't. Pin Scramble changes the configuration of numbers when you're unlocking your phone so no one can try and emulate your hand movements, while Protected Apps lets you create password-protected application folders. But for day-to-day use, Cyanogen feels much like any other Android phone. You can select applications for your home screen, while all apps are kept in the apps tray, which is organised alphabetically. This may not be the phone for you if you are hanging out for Android Marshmallow. Cyanogen is notoriously slow at updating its software, and that was part of the reason it was dropped by OnePlus. But if you don't really care about getting Marshmallow, it still gets a thumbs up from me. Thanks to the fact the WileyFox Swift runs Android, all the multimedia apps you'll need like Netflix, Spotify, and plenty of games are supported. The bottom-firing speaker unfortunately means you'll cover up the sound of any movie or game if you're not careful, but if you don't, the speaker is plenty loud enough, or you could always plug in headphones. I played Asphalt 8 on this thing for about 20 minutes and didn't experience any lag or dropped frames, and the phone didn't heat up either. The 13-megapixel back camera is pretty good for the price. It has manual controls for avid photographers who want to control the exposure and white balance, though with everything set to auto you can still trust it to take a decent picture, though in low lighting things start to get a little fuzzy pretty quickly. The Swift has also got a 5-megapixel front camera and shoots in 720p. It's all powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon 410 processor and has 2GB of RAM. It's plenty powerful enough for day-to-day use, and while the phone occasionally took a few seconds to register what I'd asked it to do, that was rare, and generally the device was speedy. 16GB of onboard storage is also great for the price, and micro SD card expandability by up to an additional 32GB means up to 48GB total. The phone packs a 2500 mAh removable battery. I found myself consistently being given low battery warnings at around 6 PM each night, so you won't quite get a full day of use, though you will get a full working day. The battery is removable though, so if you have a spare lying around, I'd recommend charging it up and carrying it on you if you're going out for the evening. All in all, the WileyFox Swift is a good phone for £130. It's got an interesting young design, an alright camera, a decent chipset in that Snapdragon 410, and awesome privacy controls. On the other hand though, that interesting design could also be described as obviously budget and a little bit masculine, and that battery life didn't always go the distance. The real decider here though is that price point. For £130, you're getting a phone which I was perfectly happy to use on a day-to-day basis. I was also a lot less precious about it than I would have been with, say, an S7 or an iPhone 6s because, well, it cost £130. So the price paired with the package and it's an instant hit with me. It's also a great alternative to our budget phone of 2016, the Vodafone Smart Ultra 6. What do you guys think? Do you like it, or is it just a little bit too budget for you? Let me know in the comments section below. I hope you liked this review and found it useful. If you did, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, and if you like the channel, make sure you hit subscribe. That is how you'll keep up to date with everything we're doing here at BTech. Thanks for watching.